It's not thought of or looked at or allowed to be looked at.
I've known darkness in my life, but that was the darkest period ever when my daughter was ill. You just want to be the best father possible. You want to be available to your kids. You want to be there for them at any stage of the game. I mean, for me, they're giving me the gift, because to go into a place where, I spent time in Great Ormond Street. I'd always kind of done these visits, but after that, the visits became more and more important because the kids, bless them, they're so strong, they're so courageous. But the parents are the ones who are slowly dying. And to be able to bring a smile or a giggle to these people it means everything in the world to me.
It's a very strange, funny time where everybody would love to be able to be themselves, but they can't, because they must fall in line with the person in front of them. You want to live that kind of life, I wish you the best. I'll be on the other side somewhere. People can hit the bottom many times, and you can drop straight to the bottom a billion times, but if you're lucky enough to find the basement, you're all right. By the way, I've had about 17 comebacks apparently. I keep wondering about the word comeback because I didn't go anywhere. I don't feel boycotted by Hollywood because I don't think about it. There were a lot of things going on, but man, running between all of those raindrops, you learn so much, and so much to the degree where even the idea of bitterness or hatred or anything, it's like asking a question, how are you doing? But what's underneath in the subtext is, God, I hate you. I suggest that before people start pointing fingers and making judgment on others that they have no idea about, I would say, everybody, take one day off of work, stay at home, start your investigation of everyone in your family. Start with your father. Look way back. Dad always been a wonderful guy, has he? Your uncles. Look at your brothers. Look around you first before you start passing judgment on someone that you have no idea what that person has been through, who they are. We're all made of stardust. And there's truth to that. If that came to you every day, that thought, what a wonderful thought. If we could celebrate every breath that we take, because nothing's a guarantee. If we could celebrate the breath and the exhale, which is being alive. There are things that are very, very important in life that we don't think about, And one of the most worrisome things that I went through for years is you're freaked out about your past. You're worried, you're scared to death of the future, and that's all you're thinking about. But the now doesn't exist, and I think that's a grave mistake that we make. I believe what that comes down, for me, how I interpret it is, I knew at a certain point I needed to accept that everything that had happened to me in my life, every experience, bad, good, whatever, difficult, emotional, I knew that needed to be accepted, to incorporate it into my life, because otherwise I would be in the bug house. To keep one foot in that circle, express your truth, which is all important. It's everything. Why do we have to skirt around lies? Why do we have to figure out, or at an early age, because you observe people to the degree that it's like ill, and you see the lie coming around the corner. I can't, and no one should accept anything but the truth. It's easy to say I love you, but if it's not behind the eyes, if it's not in there, if it's not your truth that you applied from whatever you got, then it's, and the audience will see it. We're in a place in this world, in my opinion, that we've gone to the very thing that we've always been fascinated with, which is some degree of voyeurism. Because we're in the 21st century. The world's come a long ways, and it's also regressed in a lot of ways. In terms of voyeurism, in terms of that illness to want to know what your neighbor's doing, and that it feels as if the illness of that is a very, very important and twisted part of our reality. And kids who need to speak and express themselves without judgment, without any kind of to be scolded for a thought. We've gone into this place where everything's a show, and it's become this kind of three-ring circus of the most negative or the most absurd or the most... We're ill. When there's a monolith, this Goliath in front of you, this massive enemy, and it all seems too much, or it seems too impossible, you know? Damien taught me something from the I Ching, and it's a symbol, and it's called the power of the small. It takes nothing but one person to start chipping away. For all of us, to just know that chip away at the tiny bits, people will help keep chipping away at the small. The power of the small works, and I know that because I'm very, very small right now, in front of you, before you. The best advice that I could give is observe everything. Quiet is better than loud. Simplicity is a great luxury. It doesn't last long. Hang on to it, because all the simplicities that you build become incredibly complex ultimately. I would say, capture what you want, stick to your guns, do what you believe, because what's the point of copying or being someone else or approaching it in exactly the same way that everyone else does? There's no point. If you're looking to try something, and even if you don't know what it is, stick to it, keep chipping away. Sometimes you have to wait for people to catch up with some of the things that you created and brought to life. I limited myself. I don't think I'll ever call myself an artist. I don't believe that's my place. I can certainly, and I do, approach my work, my music, my whatever, as an artist, but that's when you're commencing on a blank page. Even if you're an artist, at that moment, you're an aspiring artist, because you don't know what comes next. And I never had any aspirations of becoming an actor until I realized I was on that road and there was no turning back. I would hate to limit myself as me, as a human, to say, yeah, I'm an actor and that's it, or what those horrible things they call you, like celebrity. I never decided to be a celebrity. I never signed a piece of paper that says, sure, I'll be a public figure. I would never complain about the fact that I've been so lucky and so fortunate to have been able to stick around in this industry and do the things that I love doing. I love the process of making films. I'm proud of the films that I've done because of the people that I've worked with. You start to realize things that you allowed yourself in life and things that you thought it best to let go of or walk away from in life. And sometimes those things are very dear, to the point of it's truly a part